Hi, Michael. We're here at San Diego Comic-Con 2022 and discussing something really special. You're bringing your memoir to Broadway with this new Broadway play. It's going to be called Dark Nights and Daydreams. For people that are hearing about it for the first time through this interview, how can you describe what this is about?
This is about you and me and all our fellow fans. This is about everybody who was ever classified as a geek, anyone who was ever cut out of social circles, ignored by certain people in school, until we were able to find our own community, which we have through our comic book conventions, through our shared experience of the movies, the comic book movies, through the internet and the different sources we have on social media. This is about us, and this is what it's like to be born with a burning passion. And our passion was for comic books and superheroes, and how powerful they were in our lives. Almost all my friends that I talk to, everyone says that their own moral and ethical codes growing up were impacted by what they learned from Spider-Man and Superman and the superheroes. And during the time that I was growing up, which is 50s, 60s, 70s, comic books were denigrated. Society was blaming them for the post-World War II rise of juvenile delinquency. Frederick Wortham, in his book Seduction of the Innocent, said comic books cause asthma because children are staying indoors to read them instead of outside playing in the fresh air. The creators, Stan, Jack, Steve, Bill Finger, Otto Binder, everybody, they were denigrated. They were looked down their nose at them. And what I wanted to do in my life was not only bring dignity and darkness back to Batman, but to bring respectability to these creators whom I all knew personally, and I felt a responsibility on my shoulders. And now it's too late for most of them, but their kids, grandkids, and great-grandkids are able to go to museums and see their works hanging, and galleries, and books being written about them, and with a reverence. And the fact that it's been legitimized like that I started by teaching the world's first college-accredited course on comic books. And now there's courses being taught everywhere about comics. They're taken seriously. That comic book superheroes are seriously considered today's modern-day mythology. And that, to me, is the ultimate victory. It's something I set out to do, never dreaming it would grow to this level. So the play is not about Batman, and it's not about the making of the movies. It's about us and what we went through and how we make our own dreams come true and follow our own passions.
Well, it sounds like a really personal story. It's going to touch a lot of people, a lot of our peers, essentially, people that come to Comic-Con and enjoy these stories, as you're saying. What, for you, what made the idea of a stage play being the right medium for the next version, I guess, of this story?
Well, we have, through comic books now, conquered movies and streaming, TV, animation, gaming. We're into the new technologies, Web3, Metaverse, but nobody's really done much on Broadway.
Sure.
Many years ago, there was It's a Bird, It's a Plane, It's Superman. There was Spider-Man, which was one of the biggest disasters in the history of Broadway. And maybe it's that it shouldn't be about the superheroes or trying to duplicate the special effects of a big budget movie. Maybe it should be about how these superheroes have impacted the world, one by one. And that's the approach that we're taking with it. And I think on the stage, that's going to resonate. People will laugh, people will cry, I promise you both. But hopefully they'll walk out of that theater feeling inspired.
What most had to change between the memoir for this adaptation to stage?
The hard part was cutting it down.
Okay.
I'm used to a comic book movie script, 120 pages, 130 pages, and then learning Broadway, it's more like 60 pages. So it's like, oh my God, we've got to get right to the essence of this whole thing. And making the selection and having the right director with a vision for executing this. And it was finally getting down to literally the heart and soul of what this story is and the through line of Batman.
Excellent. Well, I'd love to wrap up just by asking you something about your relationship to Batman in general, and including how it reflects on this story. At Fanbase Press, we're really big at examining these stories through what we call our Stories Matter initiative. It looks at how stories have worked in human culture since the beginning of human culture, how we use them to share values, understand others, all sorts of important aspects of our own society. So when it comes to Batman as a character, obviously you've had an incredibly long and deep relationship with this character. What beyond the entertainment factor can we as people take away from this character? What does he reflect on us in regards to our own, human condition?
It starts with the fact that he is human and his greatest superpower is his humanity. That's number one. I guess the best way I can answer that question is to tell you a short story.
Sure.
I get a call one day from a colonel at West Point. He said, Mr. Uslan, the cadets every year before they graduate, they vote on a Cadets' Choice Award of the person who most emulates the Code of Honor at West Point. This year they voted Batman the Dark Knight. He said, would you come up to West Point, accept this award, and address our cadets at lunch hour? I said, I would be honored. So I go up to West Point with my wife, and it was magnificent. And we go into the eating hall, which was like a scene out of Harry Potter. The Vikings could have built this, with a stone gallery in the middle, 4,500 cadets standing at attention at their tables. And as we're going up, I said, would you like me to speak for like 40 minutes and then do Q&A like I usually do? He said, oh, I'm sorry. Lunch hour here is 15 minutes. We're going to present you the award right now, and then you can speak for no more than 3 minutes.
Oh my gosh.
What am I supposed to say in 3 minutes? And then, bingo, here's the award, here's the mic. And I'm looking at 4,500 cadets. And I said, cadets at West Point, when Bruce Wayne was a boy, he saw his parents murdered before his eyes on a concrete altar of blood. At that moment, he sacrificed his childhood and made a vow. He swore that he would get the bad guy who did this, get all the bad guys, even if he had to walk through hell for the rest of his life in order to do it. I said, in honoring that commitment, he became an urban warrior. He became the Dark Knight. I said, cadets of West Point, you are Batman. And with that, the place went crazy. And it went on for minutes. And they were jumping on the tables and jumping on the chairs and shouting. It was an amazing moment. A week later, I open up my mail. It's a letter. Dear Mr. Uslan, you don't know me. I'm the mother of one of the cadets you spoke to last week from West Point. I don't know if you know what serious business this is for our families, but those 4,500 kids next week are going off to Afghanistan and Iraq. She said, you may not be aware of what you've given them. They are walking around campus, bouncing off each other's chests, high-fiving each other, going, I am Batman. You are Batman. She said, you've given them a calling card. And in the years to come, when they meet each other on foreign battlefields, this will be their card to each other. And I can't thank you enough for that gift. Oh my God. That was the last chapter of my book, The Boy Below Batman. That's how I brought it to an end. But to answer your question in terms of the impact of the character, the humanity of the character, I think that sums it up better than anything.
Excellent. Well, Michael, thank you so much for talking with me. We're really looking forward to seeing this version of your story.
Thank you. Dark Nights and Daydreams, coming to a Broadway theater near you. Stan, I got the plug in.
Excellent. Thank you.
Take care.